All praises to Yahweh. All praises to Yahweh Shai. All praises for the Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that have been and continue to teach the true gospel. Salute to the Akim, spreading the true gospel on the streets and lanes of the city, on the highways and hedges, and on the World Wide Web. Much love to the humble Akwath, who learn science with all subjection and are in righteous order under the men of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. This the brother Raza from the Church of Philadelphia camp. Hey, the Lord just put on my spirit to go into, love and what the scriptures mean by love. Because people have a failed definition of what love really is, what it's all about, and how it's actually defined. Right? And what is that perfect love too? And what's the opposite of love is hate. And who's really being hated in this world? Who's hated in this world? A lot of people say a lot of things. And in this time, most of it's wrong and backwards and upside down. But we know we have a sure word to guide us. And this is what the world hates. The world hates this sure word that guides us. Because they want people in darkness. So, hey, enough of me babbling. Let's get into this precept. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that we keep his commandments. That we keep his commandments. And true men of the Lord want that. True men of the Lord understand that is what we are, that's how we're supposed to live. Now we're in this sinful nature, in these sinful bodies, but you don't glorify in sin. You don't continue to do the same sins over and over and over again and expect to be pardoned for your sins. And it says, and his commandments are not grievous. When you first came into this truth and you understood what to eat and what not to eat, whether it's pork, whether it's shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters, and other abominations, right? If you first came into this truth, you learned that, and you in 2 years later, and you still eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, this is not for you. I remember that one camp had all those abominable foods and one of the feasts. You know that's a group that's just set up, trying to throw righteous brothers off, right? Because that was way off. It's clear what the abominable foods are. In nature, it's clear what abominable foods are and what you can and cannot eat. Nature even tells us, gives us that understanding. We know that the crab, shrimp, lobster, and all that is bottom feeders, right? The garbage can of the sea. They have a purpose. And one of the purposes is to clean the sea, not to eat. And the Lord told us how he made the pig. Right? And why we shouldn't eat it. He gave us those directions. His laws are perfect. There's nothing that needs to change. It says, I am the Lord, I change not. And if his laws is perfect, what makes you think he's going to create a pig, create a shellfish to do what they do, and then change his mind and say, go ahead and eat it? He told you what to eat and what not to eat. And again, you come into this thing and you hear that. If you're a man of the Lord, hey, that's not grievous to you. Matter of fact, it turns your stomach just to think about those foods. And to think about the fact that you actually ate them in past times. Right? When you hear not to sleep with your brother's wife, not to deal with women that your brother is already dealing with. Hey, that's not grievous, right? But you got these rappers and these simps celebrating this as that's okay, as if that's the move, and they glorify it, right? But that's evil. That's evil doing to your brother. And people got a judgment to pay for that. There's a judgment for that. But that's not grievous. When you come into this truth, you understand that these laws are meant to have life and have it more abundantly. To let your light shine amongst the other nations. To show the way of good and perfection, which is what the law, statutes, commandments are. A perfect way of life. So why wouldn't you want to follow that perfect way of life? Because you see, the world is trying to knock it down and trying to lead you away from the perfect way of life, to lead you away from the love of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. But the Lord tells you this is the love of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, that we keep his commandments. So how did we get disconnected from the love of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, where he turned his back on us? Because we didn't keep the commandments, because we went off, because we wanted our own lusts to fulfill, right? We want to fill our own belly rather than to do good for yourself, to do good for your family, to do good for your neighbor. We wanted to follow after the other nations, their customs, their way of life, their evilness. And the Lord said, you know what? I'm going to turn my back until you acknowledge your offenses. Right? And then the Lord knew what this time would be like for us, living in this wicked kingdom, where every time you turn around, something evil is promoted as good. He knew this wasn't our rest. Right? But he also knows who his men are. He also knows who he's chosen and who he's elected. And no matter what circumstance they're in, no man can pluck them out of his hand, because he's perfect. And his love is perfect. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 5. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And that's how we're supposed to love Yahweh. With all our heart, and with all our soul, and with all thy might. That's why it says, fear not that can kill the body, but fear that can kill the body and soul. And that's Yahweh. Right? We over here worrying about what Esau and other heathen nations are going to do to us. Hey, Nothing but what the Lord allows, but what why Yahweh Shai allows. We can't worry about them. Matter of fact, let's go down a bit. It says, in fact, jump up to 4. It says, "Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power is one Lord. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by thy way, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up." Yeah, because that's what's going to be the focus of true men of the Lord are. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Merkah. That's what's going to be in our minds all day. When we first wake up, when we go about our way, when we come home, when we get ready to go to sleep, right? Because this is the perfect way to live, the perfect way to love, the perfect way to be. Matter of fact, let me start at verse 1. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 1. "Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye may do them in the land whither thou go to possess it." So where we're at. "That thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged." Yeah, because this is life worth living. "Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it." Don't just talk it. Don't just talk. Don't just talk. Be about it. Do it. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. "That it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahweh, power of thy fathers, have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey." But we didn't keep up with this, right? And I'm looking in the mirror myself, right? Because we all went off, which is why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. But the Lord is building his temple as we speak. The Lord is showing and revealing his true power in his men, in the prophets. Lord willing, I be of that number. In his elect that's pushing his word and prophesying for the downfall of this wicked kingdom and for our salvation. And we sigh and cry day and night for that, because we do love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. And we want to get out of this place so we can worship and magnify and glorify and praise the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because this place is vexing. And evil and wicked. And that the sins has reached the heavens. And Yahweh Shai is waiting for that word to come and do his work with the sword, with fire. Hey, it says, "With fire will the Lord plead with all flesh." And that pleading isn't begging either. That pleading is going to be a terrible time for this place, and a glorious time for the Israelites, for the true men of the Lord. It's the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. It says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. And we know where that perfect love comes from. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know? And it says, we love him. Well, let me go up. Verse 7. Verse 16. And we have known and believed the love that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath to us. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is love. And he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in him. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in the world, in this world. Yeah, and we true men of the Lord are standing boldly in the face of adversity, are standing boldly in the face of trouble, are standing boldly in the face of our enemies to proclaim the prophecies that is written in this book. It says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. Hey, what does the scripture say? The Lord has basically made us to be fearless. You know? He put the fear out of true men, the prophets. Because if not, how could we go in there week in and week out and pray and prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom right in front of the kings, right? No, it's the Lord's Spirit that's in us. And he didn't give us the spirit of fear, right? And that's in 2 Timothy. It says, for God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. In fact, get that. It says, go to 6. It says, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 6. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. For God hath not given, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, nor of me, his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel, according to the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we're being afflicted, heavily afflicted, because of the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And who we are and whom we are. Afflicted day and night to put fear in us. But what does it say? It says there's no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. And that perfect love is given to us by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. And what does 2 Timothy say? He's not giving us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love. Right? It says we love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, whom he hath not seen? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. And that's the fellow Israelite, right? The men you out there prophesying with, you know, men that you have classes with, you know, true men of the Lord. You speak with them in truth. You lift them up. If they're going through something, you try to help them out as best you can. If they're going off, hey, you rebuke them in righteousness, right? That's what this is about. We got to get out of here. You know, that's why we sign and crying so that we can magnify, glorify, and praise the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai all day long. It's a book of 2 John, chapter 6, verse 1. And this is love, that we walked after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. Yeah, and that's right in the Torah. The commandments. And loving the Lord with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Right? Hey, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. You know, and until next time, Shalom.